after 3 rounds. Well, Russell Brooks was leading it, 5 points ahead of the current flying Finn Stig Blomqvist. Jimmy McRae, Scotland's hope, was in 3rd place, and Per Eklund was down in 4th place. The rally was centred on Glasgow, with 3 loops out of the city. Last Saturday and Sunday, it was a clockwise tour north with a rest halt at Fort William, on to Inverness, and then the return to Glasgow via Aviemore. On Monday, it was a loop south through Peebles and Dumfries, back through Newton Stewart to Glasgow again. And finally, on Tuesday, a small loop north back to the finishing line in Glasgow. Here's our report, and we start with the championship leader, Russell Brooks, and his hopes for the Scottish.
Well, on a forest rally like this, it's going to be very difficult to beat the Audi Quattro with its 4-wheel drive. Obviously, we want to keep pushing it. What we would like to do is come out of this rally still leading the championship. So if Stig Blomqvist finishes 1st in the Quattro, that means we've got to finish 2nd. The next 2 rounds of the championship are on tarmac, and I think we've got a much better chance there. So our real battle is going to be with Jimmy McRae.
Well, the battle starts in Glasgow with the first stage through Bellahouston Park. Scotsman Jimmy McRae, second on his home event for the last 2 years, is desperate for success. Surprise of the championship so far has been the incredible speed of the Toyota Corolla, driven by Sweden's Per Eklund. Russell Brooks won this rally in 1976, and it's an event in which he always goes well. An unusual sight in the championship is Ken Wood's Big Rover. Sadly, it's destined to be a short appearance. As the cars head north up the famous Rest and Be Thankful hill climb, Stig Blomqvist in the Audi Quattro is already making his mark, stealing an early lead over McRae and Brooks. As Saturday evening draws in, it's starting to rain. Just the conditions the home drivers didn't want, as it gives the Quattro an even greater advantage. Backing up Brooks in the GM Dealer Sport team is Terry Cabey, hoping for better luck north of the border than he's had so far this season. Adding international flavour to the event is the young German superstar Erwin Weber on his first British appearance. John Weatherly in the Citroën Visa has made a good start, but can his luck hold out as the cars head into the night northwards up the Great Glen? 5 a.m. on Sunday. After just a few hours of darkness, Blomqvist has used the wet conditions to ease out a lead of 1.5 minutes over the battling duo of McRae and Brooks, who were separated by just a few seconds. In 4th place is the amazing Toyota Corolla, being driven in typical flamboyant style by Super Swede Per Eklund. However, he's being chased hard by British newcomer Daryl Wiedner in his Quattro. After a slow start, he's now matching Blomqvist's times. And second in the Group A standard class behind Eklund is Chris Lord in the rotary-engined Mazda RX-7. Leader of the 1300cc class is Norwegian John Hogland in the Skoda, but he's about to be swallowed up in the Glen Urquhart stage by Scotland's Andrew Cowan, who for this rally is at the wheel of the Audi 80 Quattro. And leading the 1600 Group B class is John Weatherly with a Citroën Visa. On the last stage before the breakfast halt, conditions are closer to those of a typical dry Scottish rally. Blomqvist is powering on in the turbocharged Quattro. High above Inverness, the struggle between Jimmy McRae and the Rothmans Opel Manta and Russell Brooks in the Vauxhall Chevette is becoming the highlight of the Arnold Clark Scottish Rally. The others follow in their dust, still headed by Per Eklund in the Toyota Corolla. As the cars cross the new Keswick Bridge, Wiedner has dropped to 30 seconds behind Per Eklund, but it's still an impressive performance. And 2 minutes behind Wiedner is Terry Cabey's Vauxhall Chevette, one of many cars slowed by punctures over the gravel roads. Making up time in the downhill sections is John Hogland's Skoda, co-driven by Scotsman Peter Fuvester of Autosport magazine. And yet another fine performance by John Weatherly in the Citroën Visa is about to come to an end with transmission failure as the cars arrive at Inverness for the breakfast halt.
Steve, what sort of night has it been for you?
Oh, it has been quite nice. Little bit rain and no any big problem.
What have the stages been like during the night?
Okay, when you are as me as the first car, it has been very nice stages, but okay, I don't know how rough the roads get after some cars.
Just look at the rocks being thrown up by Blomqvist Quattro as it powers over the forest tracks. Although the Forestry Commission grade and smooth the surfaces before the rally, the Quattro undoes the good work, making the conditions doubly difficult for the following cars, slowing them down and increasing the chance of punctures. It's a problem of modern-day rallying. As well as punctures, Terry Cabey, still in 6th place, has a loose bonnet to contend with on the Drummond Hill stage. He's struggling to keep ahead of Andrew Cowan, fast coming to terms with the Audi 80 Quattro. And chasing Cowan hard is Erwin Weber in his Opel Manta. Chris Lord's Mazda RX-7 is still second in Group A, despite an unusual driving technique by the Yorkshireman down the straights. A more conventional style is employed by Hogland in the class-winning Skoda. As the cars head south back to Glasgow, Blomqvist has extended his lead to over 2 minutes. In his attempt to keep up and stay ahead of Brooks, McRae is on the limit, sometimes pushing just that little too hard. Overshooting this corner costs him valuable seconds, but the same bend nearly catches out rival Brooks. So the honours are even, and the gap between the two after 24 hours of driving is just 15 seconds. But star of the show is the incredible Per Eklund in his Toyota Corolla.
What have the stages been like for you today?
Some have been very good. The loose one is not so good. I need more horsepower there, man.
But I mean,
The quick one is okay.
do you enjoy driving this car, Per? Well, it's not as powerful as the cars that you have been used to, is it?
No, man, it's so easy to drive. I can, like a go-kart, just sitting to do everything.
So you enjoy driving it?
Yes, it's really nice to drive.
Unless Steve has a problem, I don't think there's much chance really of catching him. I think we'll just concentrate and try and stay in front of Russell. During the night we managed to get within 1 second of him. We've had a couple of punctures which dropped us back. They weren't very time consuming, and at the moment we're just 15 seconds behind him, so the battle continues tomorrow.
After a night's sleep, the crews head south to the border country for the second loop. McRae kicks up the dust, maintaining his challenge. But the third car is Eklund. Brooks is missing. Eventually the Chevette appears, but he's stuck in the dust behind Wiedner's Quattro and chased by Cowan. It's a four-way contest at the bottom of the top 10, with KB swapping times with Cowan, Weber and Simon Everett in the Nissan 240 RS. Brooks arrives at the end of the special stage, and the reason for his delay becomes apparent.
5 and Eklund was 5:05.
What happened, Russell?
We had a puncture 1 mile into the first stage, which cost us 2.5 to 3/4 minutes. We were just braking for a corner and the front tyre went down. We actually did the change very quickly, but when we got going again, we were right behind Darryl Wiedner, so we lost another half minute in his dust.
Where's this dropped you to now, then? Where's this dropped you to?
We're still in third place. We're now just over 2 minutes behind Jimmy and just 3 minutes ahead of Eklund.
Bad start to the day, Russell. bad luck.
Oh well, maybe someone else will have some bad luck now.
Kirotri Forest near Newton Stewart, and it's raining again. Brooks' puncture has eased the pressure on McRae, which is just as well because the Scotsman has been suffering from a stomach upset. Now he can relax just a little. However, Brooks has by no means given up. And Eklund never gives up. "12 minutes behind the Toyota, Chris Lord's Mazda holds second place in the standard car class. As the cars head northwards back to Glasgow, another hazard confronts the drivers. This time it's fog, adding to the delights of a summer evening in Scotland. However, by dawn on the final morning, high in the Trossachs, north of Glasgow, the weather has abated, and Blomqvist remains on course for victory on the last loose surface event in the 1983 Rothmans RAC Open Rally Championship. McRae, co-driven by Blackburn's Ian Grindrod, is secure in second place ahead of Brooks. Eklund in the Toyota also has British expertise, with Dave Whittock in the co-driver's seat. But it's an all-Swedish combination in the leading Audi, with Blomqvist partnered by Bjorn Cederberg. Victory in Scotland is essential for their championship hopes, as the last two rounds are on tarmac, where the Quattro's advantage is smaller. Yet again, McRae has to settle for second place in the Rothmans Opel Manta. For Brooks and co-driver Mike Broad in the Chevette, it's a disappointing result. Third place means they're forced to share the championship lead, although Vauxhall stay at the top of the manufacturers' table. What can be said about Per Eklund's incredible performance with a little Toyota Corolla? Those who thought that Group A standard cars would be unexciting to watch have had to eat their words. Terry Cabey and co-driver Rob Arthur get their best result of the season so far, with fifth place in their Vauxhall Chevette. The Arnold Clark Scottish Rally finishes at the Glasgow Holiday Inn with another win for the Audi Quattro of Stig Blomqvist and Bjorn Cederberg. An impressive performance by the Swedes, who master the ever-changing conditions.
That's the first big he's had during this rally. And he passes it on to Bjorn Cederberg, who's one of the most...
Well, that win from the front by Stig Blomqvist puts him joint leader of the Open Championship with Russell Brooks. They each have 45 points. Jimmy McRae's fine drive holds third place for him, and Eklund retains fourth.